Now let's take a look at deploying the API gateway onto the server. So I'll be using a different server in this case. The IP address to this server is 216, and that's wait, yeah, that's the server that I'll be using to deploy the API gateway. So first I need to go into the API gateway and create a or update the YAML to include another config. So copy this, paste it down below. This will be with the profile of config. Oh, sorry, with the profile of dev. And okay, so we got the dev profile. If I go to edit configuration and add a VM to this, wait, let me first update this. So this would be the ID, but in dollar it goes as user service ID. Dot ID, and this would update this as well. This would be post service ID, and this would be command service ID. Now this would be user service URI or host, or you can call it URI, not an issue. Then this would go in here, call it a user service path. Goes here as well. Users, it'll be, wait, this has to be the URI of post service, and this has to be the URI of command service, and this has to be the path of post service, and this will be the command service. Now we need the management. Yep, this is okay. Let me run this with a dev config. -d spring dot profiles dot config, oh sorry, active equal to dev, apply, okay, and let me run this. And we call it from our local machine. This works. I'm calling the API gateway, through which I'm calling the command service. So this API is done. Now I need to build this. I have already added the build plugin to it. So let me go to the cd post API gateway and do a git build. Meanwhile that is building, let me create the deploy YAML. Or let me take it from the existing service, and that would be a post service. Let me do it from there. Copy, paste. All right. So this would be post API gateway service. And let me put that everywhere. And this is running on 10,100 port. Let me check the management port that it is running on is 10,110. Okay, fair enough. 110. The API version goes as deployment, and this goes as DPL. DEPL. Replicas will be 2. That is okay. Rolling update. This is enough. And this is good. This is good as well. Post service. Now this will be the API gateway. Let me copy it from the pom.xml, the artifact ID. Let me go to the command service. What have I put? Okay. This will be post API gateway. The name of the deployment would be post API gateway. The service port that I'll be running it on this actuator port is resources 1 GB. I would say 512 MB. Or let it be 1 GB, 0.5, and this will be 2 GB. CPU will be equal to 2. Yeah, that is enough. Post API gateway config, and let me update this as well. So this won't be required. And wait, this will have to the right hand side, and let me close this up. There are total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9. Yep. So okay, so let me update this. It'll be this. Let me grab it from here. User service ID. And I'll update that later. This will with this with URI and user service dot path. It'll have a post service called ID, post service called URI, and post service dot path. We'll have a comment service dot ID, comment service dot URI, and comment service dot path. All right, and let me update that value. So you got the user service, the URI in here with path will be taken from here along with the post service ID. Then you have the URI and the path. Oh, wait. It should be. What have I specified it to be? Path equal to this, path is this. Yeah, that's this, and goes for the command service. Let me check few things. Okay. Goes path command service, then URI, and this path in here. All right. This looks good. Now let me deploy this post API gateway service, blah, blah, blah. This is port. This is good. And is that the port that I'm running it on, right? And this part as well. Post API gateway deployment, and all right. So let me deploy this. Okay. It goes in here, and if I go to the server to see apps, Kubernetes. All right. Let me create a, a folder in here, and let me go inside that and create post application, post app. mkdir post app. Move post app as post app. Okay, it goes to post app and create a file called API gate post. What is the name of the service? Post API gateway .yaml, and paste this over here, and let me deploy this. Control all. Okay, no services are running. Control R ingress. Let me check what is the command to get an ingress. Okay, so I need to get rid of that. Delete. Ingress this. Okay. Now I need to apply post API gateway YAML. But let me check if the build is done. Probably yes. And if I go to the server, got created. Okay. And I also need to put that config micro k config into the lens. Meanwhile, it is downloading the API gateway. Add cluster. All right. So this has a good around 32 gigs of RAM and a threads of 16 CPU and has a capacity of 110 pods. So if I take a look at the pods API gateway and if there are any logs that are being generated, okay, so it has started. Let me, I haven't put the Nginx yet, but let me do an exec on it. Wait, I need to do get all so that I can get the information about the pods, and then I'll do an exec onto one of the pods so that I can do a curl. All right, we can do curl. And let me call this command. All right, I'm getting a comment and clear this out. Also, I need to check the actuator as well. This goes as 10. All right, the actuator works. So now we need to put the Nginx. All right. We go to the, let me grab it, or we can use the one which we are already deployed in here. Cd post cat nginx.tml. Okay, this is large. And we can do a nano in here. Nginx API post API gateway .yaml. The whole part we don't need. Wait a minute, let me do a selection from here. Home. And do a control K on this. Then I need Nginx post API gateway. Nginx in green, Nginx, and then prefix this will be save. Let me save this, and this will be the service name. The port would be 100. There won't be any path. I mean, the path would be empty. It would be just this. And we have this for the actuator. 110. This would be the actuator. And let me deploy this now. Okay, so ingress has been created. Now let me go to the lens and see what. Go to config. Now go to network and ingresses. We got the Nginx gateway. So as you can see, it specifies the HTTP link in here, and probably it has also received the IP address. Let me check it over here. Okay, so we can do a curl for this, and the IP address would be the IP of the server. Yep, that works. So if I do the same command in here, this would work as well. Also, I can call the actuator from here for the API gateway. Okay, that works. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.